So here's a video about the aquaponics. It's sort of been a few years in the making and it's not that epic, but here's an early aquaponics system. Now you see this is massive that I had. It'd take about 2 hours to drain and fill, which was sort of alright, but not really. I used it for cuttings to start with, and I ended up moving this out of the door like hole, and it lived outside like here for quite a few years, to be fair. It was just made out of chipboard, carpet, and then that plastic in there. So this was my next attempt at aquaponics. Now you can see all the drainage is on the outside. It worked fine till there was leaks and ants. I mean, it was just on soil and the ants just tunneled everything under. My taps were sort of the end of the pipes. I just sort of turned to judge how much water I could get out of them to get them all running. This was running on mains at the time, so I could pump a lot more water through, but my leaks were like horrendous. It was my first attempt at plumbing, but I mean it was good for cuttings and it did work. I haven't really got any good photos of it when you couldn't get in the polytunnel because it sort of took it over with courgettes and cucumbers. This is yeah, it's a bit of a monstrosity because the barrels at the end, I've got no idea what they were for, but there was some sort of plumbing. Anyway, so we dug that up and we're on to number 3. What we did here is we extended the pond, and we dug a bigger pond, and I pulled all the barrels out. So there's quite a lot going on here. I had some help on this as well, it weren't just me. And we emptied out the pond. Well, one of us pulled it out, I filmed. So I got the easy job on this one. Now we've got the liner out, we can sort of join the hole that we already dug. So this is me inspecting the hole, making sure that, I don't know. So here is I've sort of joined the holes together, it's snowing, and what we're doing here is I've concreted around the top of it so it doesn't cave in. And I've had a bit of help here. I've lined it with carpet as well, and then I've put this pond liner down and we've filled it up. This is the bottom of the barrels, just so you sort of see where the water comes out at the bottom. And I thought, well, my plumbing's so bad, if I put some staging on there, then it doesn't matter if it leaks because it goes straight into the water. I've filled the concrete all around the bottom of it, and then later on I've gone over the posts as well. I've drained this water out several times and sort of flushed it out, so I did spill a fair bit of concrete in there to start with. I've put these planks across so you can get between the barrels, and then you can sort of weed so much easier. And here's me putting the barrels in. I had to measure them so they fitted. I don't normally use a tape measure, it's normally like just mark a bit of wood and that's that. So nothing's really straight. All this wood has come from other sort of projects or like building sites, to be fair. There's some scaffold boards that someone was chucking out. They gave me to burn, but obviously I've gone and used them for something. And some of the wood from an old church, I think. This is a shot from underneath all the barrels. So you see where the water like just shoots back into the pond. And now it runs on solar power, so it's hard to get the pressure up to get all the barrels full at once, but we're working on that. So I tested all the barrels and filled them up with water to make sure it'd hold its weight, and sat on it and it seemed fine. I put clay pebbles in these. That was probably what I spent all the money on, to be fair. The concrete is, most of it is dug out from the sand of the polytunnel. I mean, you can see ground level is a fair way down, so I've got enough sand out of this place.
So this is your bell siphon. It stands up like that and it goes over this pipe. This pipe goes straight down into the pond below, under there. And what happens is the water fills up and it gets to the top of this pipe, but this is over the top. So all the air that's trapped into this bit, because the pipe comes up to about here, all the air gets trapped into there, gets sucked down that middle pipe, and when there's no more air to come out, because this is supposedly airtight, although some of them are a bit dodgy, it sucks all the water up over that pipe on the inside of this and back down, so it drains the whole bed. This pipe here is when it gets to the bottom, because the water comes in through here. That's what the slits are for. Now this pipe is to stop what we call suck siphon, where it just keeps going, because it lets the air in the top. Otherwise that sort of goes the same speed as the water going in, it will just always siphon. That is the plan. However, it's sort of going down now, don't it? However, we don't have enough pressure to do this. Right, so I've got the aquaponics working. I've just put some cucumbers, there's a few courgettes, and then there's a couple of tomatoes.
So that's it really. Hopefully I'll get some shorter videos, but more updates on this now I've got the first one out of the way. And yeah, just look after yourselves really, innit?